What's going on, Maximus? I see the mustache is back. Want to talk about that?
Yeah, the mustache will never be gone. It's my thing now.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to curl like right up like that, and then.
Yeah, I don't know. When it gets too long, then it has also downsides to it. When it's like this, there's no downsides.
Oh,
there's
okay.
only upsides.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking a little bit scruffy. I haven't had a haircut since England. I went to England.
You lost the Manscaped sponsorship, so since then you've been looking a bit scruffy.
Exactly. But don't worry. I'm waiting. I'm letting everything grow out so I can have a badass haircut for the world. And you know what? With that said, let's drop that intro. Let's get to talking because we're going to be definitely talking about the world in this podcast. So let's drop that intro, right, Max? Yeah, as soon as I find it. There we go.
Nitro is the glory, but e-buggy pays the bills. Welcome to the No Name RC podcast. Get ready for some serious bench racing. But be warned, we speak our minds, express our thoughts, and sometimes things can get a little rowdy.
Hate, and he just was influenced by the hate coming from the left, the hate coming from the right.
And let's get back to more club racing and less of this money-grabbing racing.
It's hard not to be arrogant when you're always right.
Yeah. See what I mean? That's exactly why people call you arrogant, Max.
You may not agree with everything we say, but it's definitely worth a listen.
And our pick, can you stop whatever you're doing?
Join your host, Lefty the Great, with co-hosts and guests as they get together to chat RC.
Hey, after that race that I watched this morning, I have to talk about
it. Here we go. $100 right here, $100 throw. Oh no!
I like this.
Yes, indeed. Nitro is the glory, but e-buggy pays the bills. What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Keena White, a.k.a. Lefty the Great. Over there is... I got a frog in my throat. is the arrogant one with his ever luxurious mustache, Max Moore. What's up, Max?
Nothing much. Just chilling. Getting ready for the world.
Now, I have a question. Is it hot or cold in Finland right now?
It's actually quite cold right now. It's gotten cold in like since last week. It's gotten cold. It was quite hot even last week. But
yeah. Because last week you were struggling, and this week you have the infamous hoodie on. You have the hoodie, uniform back.
Yeah,
homeless person uniform.
Yeah, that's good. That's definitely good.
Yeah, I know the homeless look is just what you love. So all good. Welcome back, Max. You've been busy doing your world's prep and all that stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Is that your dad in the background?
Kai sä tajut, että sä näyt sieltä?
That was funny. We just had like a random guy walk by. He's still there. Is that your dad? That's your dad?
Yeah.
No.
Or maybe I've never met your dad, so I wouldn't know. Okay, we got a whole bunch of Finnish talk. Is that your imaginary brother Rex?
No, he's talking to me.
All right, we are not going to edit that because that was pure fun and pure natural. We are not editing that out. Anyway, Max, welcome back. Let me mute you for a while I say all my thank yous. So, obviously, we can't do it without you guys, the NNRC squad around the world. Thank you guys for all the support. We greatly appreciate that. Shout out to all the patrons of the podcast. You guys got early release of our guest this week. I'll tell you more about him in a second. Thank you guys for the extra support. If you wish to be a patron, you can. The link is in the written description of this podcast. Also, shout out to the awesome sponsors of this podcast. Remember, everybody, we have coupon codes, affiliate links, everything in the written description of this podcast. If you guys can show the sponsor some love, it definitely shows the podcast some love, and we greatly appreciate it. They are invisiblespeed.net, TZO 200 tires, TNR fuels, High Tech RC, Beach RC, Mayako, Techno RC, RCGP, Papa Willie's Traction Tonic for all your traction needs, G-Spec RC tuning for all your cabling needs. He's also got some tools and fluids as well. Sun Padal USA, thank you to Hefty for coming on last week. He was a great co-host last week for the 10 scale. I have a confession to make as well, Max, that I will tell you in a minute. You can get all your race batteries from there. Racecraft USA, they got the wall jewel out. That looks pretty cool. I actually want to get one. Two would look good on my wall over there. So maybe I'm going to get one for finally. I'm going to get one from Chasing Those Guys. But it's a cool looking. It's stainless steel. Looks great. I like it. Shout out to Clinic RC, House of RC, RC3 Raceway in Alabama. Shout out to our boys, David Ronafalk, Alex Rehberg, and Jared Tebow in their respective jobs. Thank you guys for all the support. We are ready to talk about RC. So, Max, our guest this week is Bryan Baldo. I finally got to talk to him. He would not give me any hints about what the track looks like or even a sneak picture, so I was upset about that. But it was a good chat with him. We learned a little bit. It's a short chat. Learn a little bit of history about Redovan, about those guys. And yeah, I am super excited about this time next week. I should be almost to Alicante. No, well, not really, because it's 6 hours behind, but you get what I'm saying. I'll be traveling. I'll get there. I'm excited. You're leaving next Friday. JQ's already left, you know, because he's driving. So he's going to Sweden. The world's just ramping up. Like, everybody's breaking in, like, oh, breaking in my cars. Tebow just done like a whole, check that out too. Jared Tebow done a whole YouTube build of his Techno Nitro buggy. Check that out. So yeah, everybody's in world's prep. I'm breaking in engines. It's on. It started. The excitement is in the air.
Yeah, definitely.
That you sound about as excited as a deer in the headlights of a 80-mile-per-hour semi truck.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not like excited. I'm like, yeah, it's cool to go.
But you haven't been to a big race in years now. I think your last big race was when? RCGP 2019?
RCGP 2019,
yeah. You haven't been to a big race in a long time. So I'll be excited. I haven't seen you since then. So the crew will be all there. What have you been up to? You're building a new car and all that stuff. When are you going to break your car in this week?
Yeah, I'll be going to drive tomorrow and on the Sunday. Maybe Monday, depending on if it's going to rain or not. But yeah, pretty much now just testing the final things. And dialing in the car. And
anything
I mean, my car is really pretty much broken in at this point.
Okay. So any specific setup changes that you're doing for this?
No, last time when I ran my car, I ran the same setup when I ran in Finland, like the same exact car, and it worked okay. It wasn't perfect by any means, but it worked okay. And
definitely, it's a lot more practice sessions this time around too. Greg and I were talking about it. So
yeah. So I think there's 6 practices.
Yeah, it starts on Sunday practice.
Yeah. That was the same in Vegas. It was, I think, 6 practice rounds and 2 seats and then 6.
Yeah, because Greg goes, I've got my schedule. You better be ready for 9:00 Sunday morning. I said, Greg, I will be ready. Relax.
Yeah. The Worlds, in a sense, is kind of more of an endurance race than others, because it's not that you sort of, if you have a good speed, you just drive and you're fastest and you win. You have to keep that same speed up for 3 days of qualifying and then show up in the main too. So it's much longer time. You have to make it to the main first too. Let's not forget that. Yeah, that too. Like, you don't even get straight to the main. Like, yeah, for Europeans, that's not that like different, but for Americans, that's even
because not used to the ladder format.
Yeah.
Did you see I know you didn't read it, but I wrote a novel about the worlds. I kind of just wanted to write something. What triggered it was Jeff Keaton's post, right? So I love that post. Because Jeff Keaton actually has the right attitude. I need the American driver should have that attitude instead of the attitude of we're going to lose or this is a European. Not that Let me rewind that. I don't think they have the attitude of that they're going to lose, but it's like, oh, this is a European track, blah, blah, blah. You know, we've heard that a lot. We've heard that narrative a lot. I think Jeff's right. The cream always rises to the top, and the fast American guys will be fast, and they should be confident. I think he's a little delusional about his aspects, about his picks, but that's fine. That's fine. You know, the Worlds is about supporting your country. So I think the Worlds goes from like supporting your driver or that you like to your brand to your country. You know what I mean? So it goes from, I want this driver to do well. Okay, maybe he didn't make the main. I just want the brand to do well. Okay, I want the brand to do well. But then it comes down to, then like when in the final, it's like, okay, I want an American to win or I want a European. You know what I mean? Because then it's about country pride as well. Yes, there's pride in the driver and the company. But yeah, that's how it kind of works out. So yeah, that was a funny post by Jeff. I like it because it kind of starts the world's talk. And then I wrote that blog because I kind of wanted people to understand the history of this race and why it's so difficult, you know? And so I learned a lot. I just basically went on Wikipedia, found everything and just put it together. And then when I got to the Worlds that I remember, I talked to Greg and Greg started telling me things about the Worlds. So I filled that in. And then, you know, the other couple of Worlds that I've seen, I was able to fill them in. So I just wanted people to have a timeline of the winners, of, you know, who's won it the most. Like I think Italy's won it the most, or tied with Japan, maybe. I don't know. I just wrote it. And I kind of, because I know a lot of confusion can be about, oh, this guy's a world champion, this guy's a world champion. So yeah, we have multiple different types of world champions in RC, but we only have a few. There are only a handful of people, well, more than a handful of people that have been 8-scale world champions. You know what I mean? So I kind of wanted to lay it out so people can have a good look at that, see what I'm talking about, see everything. Yeah. And when you really look at it, it's like, yeah, the Europeans and the Japanese dominated the Worlds for a very long time. And then the Americans took over and like they were the favorites. They won. And Ty won. He was the last North American guy to win. And then, and it's interesting, man. It's interesting to see the history of this event and why it's so difficult. Only one person's ever won this twice. We might see a consecutive winner with Ungaro this weekend, this Worlds, or we can possibly see a repeat with Ungaro, Ronnefolk, Tessman, or Battier. I think that's the only 4 competitors that are world champions. Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, King isn't coming.
Right.
And anyone before that isn't. Well, the Ghani might win.
How could we forget the Ghani? Right. I kind of wanted to stress that because I know like Jared Tebow is a world champion, Cavalier is a world champion, and Mayfield's a world champion, but that's world champions in 10 scale. And for me, it goes like this. I think it's 8 scale, 10 scale 2-wheel drive, GT or whatever it's called, GP, maybe. I think that GP class, because it's just been so many people. I think GP and 2 drive are the same, but I really believe that Nitro Buggy is the upper echelon of RC racing, just because how difficult it is to win that race. So anyway, speaking of that, we have a lot of content planned for next week. Hopefully, we'll drop another podcast last Friday. I'll be traveling next Friday, but I'll be traveling. That should be with Robert Battier. We're going to talk about, Spain hosting the Worlds, with the just his thoughts going into this as well. I'm Mick Craddock. So this is how it also started. Remember Mick Craddock's blogs about his world experiences? He used to write them on Neo Buggy.
Oh,
do you remember those? So
I thought that was a rhetorical question, but
no, I was talking to you. Pay attention. Yeah. Come on, Max. Come on. Keep up with me. You're slow today. How's you letting the old guy get ahead of you? So Mick's been to a bunch of Worlds, right? So I kind of wanted to find those blogs and repost them because Nia's done, but he found them, and then he goes, "Hey, why don't we sit down and have a podcast about it?" And I was like, that would be a freaking great idea. So that's probably going to be like a 3-hour podcast. That's just going to be me and Mick talking about the Worlds. So I'm going to geek out on that. That will drop sometime next week. And we're hopefully going to do a live next Wednesday if everything coordinates. So I'll be our last live. Then I'm off to Spain on Thursday. Then we'll do some stuff next week, obviously. Well, the week in the Worlds. So that is the plan for that. Also, real quick, I just wanted to say, excuse me, thank you to my boy Jason Bukal of Ardent Imprints. I'm doing an unboxing about this, but he got me some new hats. So I got this nice. So Jason actually got into racing because he found the podcast. He was driving truck one day, found the podcast, listened to it, got into racing. We became friends. He ran JQ Racing. He's in racing now, but he still flies helicopters. He's into helicopters. He used to be into that too. So we became friends, and we still chat from now and then. And I saw he opened up like a print shop. So he goes, hey, Lefty, I opened up a print shop called Ardent Imprints. And yeah, man, I like to do something for you. I was like, yeah, because I'm looking for hats. Like, I'm like, man, it's so hard to find nice hats to fit my big head. I don't want a fitted hat because I want something with the breathable mesh on the back as well. I like fitted hats, but they get hot. So it's like, let me see what you could do. I really like my racecraft hat, the way it felt. So we went found the hats, and it's like, he says, how many hats you need? I said, man, I just need one or two. He's like, no, how many hats you need? And he says, I need a high-tech one. I need some NNRC ones. So he sent me like 7 hats. This is the high-tech hat. This is the gray one. Oh, that's fire in it. Only one of those, that's my personal. That is not going into the track. And he sent me a couple other hats. I actually have one for you, and I have one for JQ. So you have to see my unboxing video for that, huh?
That's nice.
Yeah,
I don't really have any NNRC merch. You need to bring me stickers too. I don't have NNRC.
Oh, I'm hoping Mao makes my stickers in time. But yeah. I thought it was really cool. Thank you, Jason. It's weird how you may touch people's lives. Like this dude was driving a semi truck down the road and happened upon the No Name RC podcast, and then he got back into racing. That's cool. Yeah. So I'll leave Ardent Prints. You can Ardent Imprints. Sorry, I keep saying Prints. Ardent Imprints. You can check them on Facebook or Instagram. We're going to talk about doing some things. Like I want to do some shirts with my logos and shirts with my slogans and maybe something different. We'll see what happens. So thank you for that. I don't have all the hats, but I really love this high-tech hat. This is going to Spain. A couple of quick announcements, Max, and then we're going to go on to some RC news. But before I do that, I think we're going to pay some bills, and we're going to pay some bills with TNR Fuels. Here at the NNRC, we're all about that glory, and the glory is nitro. TNR Fuels is the hottest nitro fuel on the market, owned and operated by Chris Nelson and his family, made by racers for racers. The fuel is currently available throughout the USA in various hobby shops. If you're interested in supporting Chris or getting it in your shop or selling it, you can contact him at on their website at www.tnrfuels.com or contact Chris Nelson directly at chris@TNRfuels. Find them on House of RC or Facebook. Yeah, just hit him up on Facebook. Chris will always answer you. Thank you to TNR Fuels and their continued support. And a few announcements I have to make here real quick, Max. Not announcements, but some good initiatives. So we're going to take about 10 minutes to talk about this. So my good friend, the Carmendis, it's a couple that race in the Southeast, Katie Carmendi and David. So Katie has a podcast called Race Like a Girl. And she's like vlog podcast. They're like really positive. I want to call them RC activists because they're always doing something cool. They have this thing called the Future Stars of RC. So this is actually something that they have combined with Beach RC. And so I'm going to read it out. So bear with me, people. I'm horrible at reading stuff out. So the Future Stars of RC is presented by the Race Like a Girl podcast, is a one-day racing event that aims to create a positive experience and support new racers in the hobby. Future Stars is Future Stars of RC is a non-profit event where 100% of the entry fees go to the track and any donations or product go to the racers. The purpose of this race is to bridge the gap between local pro drivers and novice racers. The race is formatted so the local pro drivers are providing driver coaching and mechanic help. This allows the novice racers to make a knowledgeable connection that they can ask questions without intimidation that hopefully brings newcomers back for more. So you can check out the Future Stars of RC website to see pictures and a better idea of the race. So this year will be their 3rd annual Future Stars of RC race. They'll be holding it at Red Brush RC Track in Mount Airy, North Carolina on September 24th, 2022. The Race Like a Girl vlog here will give so they have a vlog and all this stuff, and you go to the website. So I'm just reading off this here. This year, they anticipate having well over 30 novice drivers and are hoping to have one pro driver coach for each novice driver. So when they say pro, they're talking about regional fast guys in that area. You know what I mean? In the Carolinas area that will come up and help these kids out with, just coaching them. So one pro driver for each novice racer. They have been getting an average of 20 novice racers at some of the local club races. So they anticipate a higher turnout for the future stars of RC event. So what they've done is they've kind of partnership with Beach RC, where they have this package that you can buy for $100. It's $125 value, but it's $100. And this package goes to a racer, one of these novice racers. So you go to Beach RC, you buy the package. This is how you donate to this. You go to Beach RC, you buy the package, and then that package then goes to the racer that's going to be enter this, one of the novice racers. So what the package includes, let's go there. So you purchase one of these, there's 30 packages. You're helping a new racer get some much more needed, useful items to help them on their way to the next level of the hobby. All orders will be delivered to the race and be handled and dispersed by Katie and Dave to these racers at the event. Here's what you'll be giving each one of these eager, excited new racers. Any leftover kits will be going to newcomers as we meet them on different tracks we frequent. So you get 2 Pro Circuit Hot Dice pre-mounted tires, 1 Ultimate RC tool bag, 1 Assault RC Revolver Series 17mm wheel wrench, a full set of 4 RCD's nuts, double-sided serrated reel nuts, and 1 BeachRC.com gift. This was a great way to pay it forward for the next generation of RC racers and support a great organization. You will be given what normally would cost $125 away to one lucky recipient for $100. So basically, if I had $100 extra bucks right now, I go buy this, and then one of these novice people will get it from Beach RC. So it's a great initiative. Katie and these guys have been doing a lot of this type of positive stuff in the Carolinas. I know I went on about that, but I actually have something else to talk about too, because I have to talk about these initiatives because they're good. And anything that's helping to get new people more comfortable at tracks, I am all about it, right? So if you want, check this out. Check out Future Stars of RC on Facebook. Check out their website and figure out how you can donate by getting one of these kits, these boxes. So Mark Santamaria, I was talking to him recently because I really like what he's done. So he started like a MSN special Spec Clash racing series. So I believe this is going to take place over 4 tracks, like in Texas. So it's going to be like September, Indy, October at Shores, November at Gold Star, and December they'll have a race at actual Trax's headquarters on the cement. So it's 3 different tracks. It's packed dirt, loose dirt, carpet, cement. So the classes are Spec 3, beginner drivers only. This is the premier class. The reason why Spec racing events. So this is, all Spec. Spec 2, expert drivers intended for the seasoned racer who wants to grow their racing community and bring a friend. I believe these are team, like you have team driver teams. I'll have Mark want to talk more about this. Spec 1 is the cream of the crop, limited to 20 drivers, 10 teams, 2 drivers per team, just like real Formula One racing. This class is designed for the best racers with the deepest pocket. So I guess that's unlimited. So they had like a podcast the other day, and I did touch in a little bit. Like they're going to have like tech and all that type of stuff, and especially for the Spec ones, because they want to keep the cars as close to stock as possible or as stock as possible. And they says, our mission is to act as a stimulus to the RC racing community by introducing RC car racing to new racers in an affordable and fun and simple way. Mission 2 is to promote businesses owned by racers within our community. So the Spec 1 class, each team has to be sponsored by like a business of a RC racer. If you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you may be a business owner. So they want to promote the business owner or small business, could be an RC business or whatever as well. Mission 3 is to bring seasoned professionals and beginner racers together to collaborate of tuning and driving strategies. So I like this idea, It's really good. I think I was talking to Mark a little bit about it. Mark's doing a cool video series about getting back to racing and learning how to race, and there's going to be some cool stuff coming up on that. I'm also probably going to have him on the podcast when I come back, as well as the Carmandis. So those are 2 good initiatives, as well as another one that dropped right now as we're recording this because it's Friday. RCGP Loves RC2 just dropped another great initiative to help people just be more comfortable, get more people involved in racing. So well done to Race Like a Girl, the Carmendis, and of course, well done to Mark Santamaria and his wife, the MSN Nation, for all that they do, because that shit's awesome, in my opinion. Very good. And hopefully we see tracks follow suit as well. All right, Max. That was it. I know I went on for a little bit about that, but I kind of wanted to get those things out because I think they're good. So now we're going to go on to some high-tech RC news. And this week's RC news is brought to you by High-Tech RCD, who is a leader in RC systems delivering the highest performance and reliability, supported by a dedicated customer service personnel. They have the HSB 938 1TH service, which have efficient brushless motors, titanium gears, low consumption, constant output, and metal cases. High-Tech also introduces their new DB778 WPs, low profile 10-scale service meant for your on-road and off-road applications. They are manufactured using their high technology that they have adapted over from the industrial servos innovation and all that stuff to do with the industrial side of things. Also, don't forget about the RDX2 Pro Charger, which I've been using. Hopefully, me and my son are going out crawling this weekend. Can charge 2 battery packs at a time. Has a Bluetooth dongle that you connect to your phone. You can do everything from your phone. Trust in High-Tech, your servo and charger headquarters, and visit them at hightechrcd.com/where-to-buy to find your nearest dealer. Thank you, High-Tech, for all your support. Please show them some love. All right, Max. You've been quiet. I don't know. We got to activate you.
Yeah, you've been rambling on, so I
happen to do that, but I did finish my rambles, unlike JQ says. I did finish them.
Yeah. You did pretty okay.
I'm working on that. All right, Max. A few things in the news. I see Wally builds. He was telling me about this when I was in Silver State. I still like Wally's. I like Wally. So they'll have like a private track, and he's opened up his Wally Builds coaching sessions. I honestly think this is such a great idea. Like, I thought when he first started doing this was a great idea. This is something that I think we're going to see in RC more, like actual physical coaching sessions. Mm-hmm. And I think Wally is good. I think we're going to see like Alden Bakers in RC. You know what I mean? And
yeah, there will definitely be a time. And people like Adrian Bertin, that is kind of a big part of what they want to focus.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Verri being mechanic of Ungaro. And he
Richard
was
Saxon?
Mechanic of Tortorici. Yeah, Saxton for Rivkin.
Who was the mechanic of Tortorici?
Verri. Ungaro's old mechanic, now being Butch's mechanic.
Okay. So yeah, I like this idea. I think we're gonna see, like, I have this whole vision for invisible speed too, like, you know, talking with Joseph and the physical part of that whenever it happens. So it's gonna be good. Congratulations, Wally. I hope he moved too. So he moved out of like SoCal, I think, a little bit up into the mountains. Got a nice track. He's gonna offer like private training sessions at this track. That's good. 10 scale nuts, Max. We were 100% wrong about Rivkin and Mayfield. And Tessman, you was 100% wrong about Tessman because he was in the B's.
Yeah, it was weird. Tessman and Mayfield was at a flipped from their usual form.
No, Mayfield isn't okay. He did make a few B's.
He, for 2 years straight, I don't think he made even a 1A or something.
He did on one. He did make. Yeah, he did make some. He was kind of lacking, but he must have said, yeah.
Yeah, but now he was all right, and like he almost won Tour Drive.
Yeah, did you see him like that crash on the straightaway?
Yeah, that was crazy. And like from the video, you can't even see who would have won. Like
no, I was trying. I couldn't see.
Yeah,
and yeah, like I was told that like Ty Tessman got booed because he took a Born a Crime in the B main. You know, Born a Crime was in the lead.
Yeah,
that's good. It was good. They had twin 11-year-old young boys that won stock stadium truck. That's freaking cool. Like a dyad in the force. Twins.
Yeah.
Those guys like must be able to read each other's brains when they're driving. like the Killix.
Yeah.
Like the Killix tandem driving, they're so used to each other, like they can just predict where they're gonna drive. These kids must be, but it's good to see that. It's good to see the young kids doing well. Reinhardt wins ETS. By the way, if you guys want to learn a little bit more about the 10 scale nationals, you can check. Is Max frozen? Or is he sleeping?
No, I'm
it looks like you're sleeping. So Hefty and I did a full 10 scale Nats recap. It's episode 203. It's actually pretty good. Thank you, Hefty, for your time. Reinhardt wins ETS, Max. Did you? I didn't watch any of the ETS.
I didn't watch any, but I watched results, and he was leading all the way in practices. Like, he was much faster than anyone else. Then, like, first round, like, can't remember if it was Prumpe or Kraft who TQ'd, but then Mark took the second and third one, and overall TQ'd, and then just won the first and the second main. So he pretty much dominated. Like, he was in control the whole time.
So do like Coelho and these guys not go to these races?
I think X-Ray has stopped participating in the Euro series. So
really,
ENS, ETS, or EOS,
right? Because they don't run the Nitro. Yeah.
They stopped in ENS. The reason was that Infinity is buying out the series, kind of, and then for ETS, the reason is that Mark and Coelho don't really come along that well, and Mark's dad is the one who's sort of leading the series.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and then
a lot of politics
for off-road. I think when X-Ray cheated and practiced at the track before the race, and then all the tire drama with Schumacher and sort of X-Ray, and like between the drama between Schumacher and X-Ray, and then I think that's why they don't run EOS. So X-Ray is just not running anything anymore.
Anything. They didn't even run the 8 scale. Like Bruno doesn't run Nitro anymore, I was told.
Oh yeah, Bruno stopped running Nitro on road. So, but I think that's because of Infinity. So they think Infinity is sort of buying out the whole class.
But it's kind of backwards. You would want to go beat them, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but I guess they don't see it being worth the money because there isn't much customers, to be honest.
All right, I get that. Boots wins the last round of the BRCA Nats and the overall round. So, and S-Works won the junior title. So congratulations to Boots. I know he'd be happy about that. Not winning it last year probably pissed him off.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I don't know if, like, for him, it's a bit of a confidence booster, I think, because he should be winning it, really. He is the best racer out of UK.
Yeah, that's no doubt. Like, Boots is the best.
Yeah.
We can say, there's like, it's weird because there's guys in the UK that are fast, like the Skidmores and all them guys, they can beat him in the UK. But when it comes to international, like Boots is just heads and shoulders above those guys, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. There is no one who could be even close to beating Boots. Well, Skidmore's at some events, but most
they're really good at Montpellier.
Yeah, but even there, Boots is good often too, so.
Yeah. So this weekend, if you guys want to watch something, we have the Hearts GP. It's going to be full broadcast on RC Racing TV. They'll be there. It's a bank weekend or a bank holiday in England. So Monday, they'll be racing Sunday and Monday. You can follow that. I'll put up the links on the NNRC page. And also we have another great race that is the Quebec Classic at Bego Racing. I was looking at the track. Looks really good. Linseed. I know you don't like it. Linseed oil track. This is one of Canada's bigger races. They used to get a lot of international entries. I don't know if they're going to get much this year, but it's good to see them racing again. So good luck to all of those guys up there racing there. And I think we have the TSOC race at Badlands where the RCGP is going to be. So RCGP has opened up, by the way. I think it's 44 people. So everybody, can you please Go sign up if you want to be a part of it. I've had a few people complaining about the Spec tires, not complaining, but asking why they went to Spec tires in Italy. Didn't they drop the Spec tires in Italy? And why are they back to them? I said, well, they went back to Spec tires in the UK. This is the one thing that I don't get why people don't like it. But I think it comes down to people are used to just putting on that fast tire and going faster. You know what I mean? So when you put everything together and everybody's on the same tire, it just makes everything even, Steven. And that's why I like it. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it gets about 80 to 90 entries, and we do that as well. Max, so I have a little gossip. You know, we're coming to the end of I don't know if it's gossip, but it's definitely piquing my silly season spidey sense. So I see that Merlin Depta, I don't know, have any idea who he is. You probably know who he is because he's European. Has left Serpent or is not with Serpent anymore after 17 years. Who's this guy? Is he an on-road racer? Merlin Depta?
I haven't no clue.
Okay, so anyway, he's out 17 years at Serpent. We had a Billy Easton sighting at the Nationals. I haven't seen or heard from Billy Easton since probably the 2018 Worlds in Australia. And he's at the 10 scale Nationals in the D main. I think Billy Easton's a vampire too, because it's like 40 something and he still looks young. But yeah, and then he's rocking the Serpent thing. And so like me and my buddies were talking like, what's going on with Serpent? Like guys are leaving. Billy Easton's out racing 10 scale in the D main. Is he looking for a job? What's going on with Serpent? Have you heard anything? Because like Serpent in America is kind of non-existent. I don't know how the on-road scene is, but the off-road scene, there's a couple guys running the car. The car is good. Like we're not going to dispute that the car isn't good. Quality is good, all that stuff. But are we seeing writing on the wall for Serpent?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think they have like distributors around the world, and then the distributors have team drivers that get free parts from Serpent. But I don't know if they get travel. They don't have any factory drivers. So I don't really know if they just think they can keep going like this with just their brand, like just to have good distribution and just have the Serpent brand. Like if they think that's enough, I don't know, but it looks like that's what they are trying to go with. Almost like Mugen, but Mugen have
the reputation.
Mugen have they have more. I mean, Serpent has a reputation too on road side, but Mugen sort of has the pro still. Like they have at least one pro in all classes who can win.
I would agree with that. Which is weird seeing Billy at a race and you haven't seen him I don't know if he's been racing in Florida. Maybe some people will know. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to follow the development of that as well as we go. I know like in Sweden, there's a good bit of Serpent drivers in the UK, but I don't know on a worldwide thing. All right, Max. I think that's it. I think we're going to go into our Beach RC questions. I don't have anything to add to that. I didn't look at the news this morning, to be honest. Yeah, so let's go on to the Beach RC Bench Racing Q&A.
BeachRC.com, the racers' one-stop online hobby shop. Choose from all the popular brands and variety in stock with super fast shipping and great customer service. BeachRC.com still has the local hobby shop feel with all the benefits of the internet. BeachRC.com is the exclusive distributor for Ultimate Racing, JQ Racing, Pro Circuit Racing Tires, Nitro Lux Fuels, and Assault RC Performance products. So fill up your cart and check out at BeachRC.com today.
Yes, thank you to Brent and Lucas and all those guys at Beach RC for the continued support. Lucas just dropped an unboxing video of the Losi mud truck. He wasn't too happy about it. Them guys put that truck through the ringer. Check that out on YouTube. And thank you to Brent for his support. I'll see him next week, in the following week at the Worlds. Yeah, and we have an affiliate link for that, people. If you guys can use that, it really helps. We got a little slice, helps us out. It's in the written description of that podcast. And thank you to everybody that sent in questions. We're going to answer them as fast as we can. So Max, all right. So we're going to do Instagram questions first. Because this is from Jarmo. I know this is my boy up in the Northeast. What's up, man? How you doing, Jared? Could you guys touch on how you organize your gear when going to races, specifically how you pack and organize spare parts that you want to bring to the track? Do you just throw everything in an OGO, or do you try to group parts together in smaller containers? For example, all suspension parts together, arms and other plastics, etc. Thanks. That would be you, Max. How do you organize your parts and stuff? You like your red boxes.
I don't have red boxes anymore. I just have like plastic boxes where I have parts.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I do like segments like if I know I'll be doing a diff, I don't have to reach for 5 or 6 different boxes. If I need to change like outdrives and stuff, I just have all that stuff in the same one. And yeah, and then I just have enough boxes for everything and enough spares and put it in my audio.
Yeah, and I always, if you're flying, just carry one. If you're going to take 2 bags, just carry one OGO bag. You don't need to. You literally will, by eliminating one OGO bag and getting one of those Walmart plastic suitcases that I bought 5 years ago and still going strong, and it's 7.5 pounds less than an OGO bag. I know traveling in America isn't too big of a deal because you can go over, I think, like on Southwest, they don't have any limits on your luggage weight. But when you're traveling like internationally, it's a big thing. You have to worry about it. So yeah, the OGO bag is good for going to the track, but not the best for traveling, like in my opinion, because you can't carry too much.
Yeah, it's a lot of weight.
So like in the Walmart bag, I would carry my clothes, whatever, tires, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because you can put all the heavy stuff in there. All right. Next question from Mini Golf. Could Max possibly highlight a few of the differences between the different manufacturer air boots? He has mentioned the Kyosho filter provides the most power, but how about what boot is best for fuel mileage? Interesting question.
Yeah. So Kyosho and I think X-Ray, maybe Techno too, they have this boot where the inlet is much bigger than the sort of end at the Venturi, so it gets a lot more air and
like a funnel.
Air. Yeah, it's like a funnel, so the air goes faster into the engine, so you get more power that way. But the better mileage is a longer inlet, and that's narrower. So low C, I think AE, I think HB even is that style, maybe even Serpent. A lot of brands have that style where it's like a narrow, longer tube to the air filter, and that's what saves fuel.
Hey, I have been into nitro buggy racing for 20 plus years and never even thought of that. First time I ever heard that. First time. That was a great question. I just learned something. That will be why the Kyosho filter is so big too.
Yeah.
Wow. Line blown. I should be ashamed of myself. I didn't know that. All right, moving on. Facebook questions. Nathan Genda, with all these Proline sponsor races and INSJ concepts races, why don't we see competing manufacturers send their drivers to duke it out? I mean, I think it's like the J Concepts races are more to take like the J Concepts guys to that track and put on a show, I think, for the regional guys there, I would say. Or
yeah, I think that's what they're trying to do, like to promote J Concepts, and that's why they have the race there. But I mean, in the end, it just comes down to working together and money. That's why the reasons why stuff is happening or isn't happening.
On tires, I forgot to say this, but I did see this morning that AKA has come up with a new compound. And a new tire, by the way. Now you've done it. Let me bring it up on Live RC and I'll get back to you. Joe Jenkins, I just want to know where ProTech RC came from. When I left sport around 2009 or 2010, I swear I had never heard of that company. Now it seems like they literally make everything, and from my understanding, quite quality. I just came back into the sport in March of this year. I don't see anything about Nova Rossi engines, RB engines, or Pico or Serio anymore. These were some of the top brands when I was racing 8 scale on-road. I said, oh man, you got a big I put this in the comments. You got a big culture shock. Great question though. Yeah, man. Evolution, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, ProTech is A-Main's brand, and A-Main is the biggest online hobby shop probably in RC.
Yeah, I think what A-Main pretty much did is they sold pretty much every single brand, and they, from customer reports and them having their own team drivers, they knew sort of what brands were the best.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did was they knew obviously who manufactured them, because they were most likely in touch with all of the suppliers. Like they knew where Orion made their batteries, for example, and so on. So that way they could contact the factories that the products were made in themselves, and then sell products that they knew were going to be good. And even the engines, those are bought from OS, and there's OS based engines. So
I think
basically what they've done.
Yeah, and then I mean, let's be honest. In the last, he said he left in 2009, so that's what, 13 years ago.
Yeah,
and that 13 years, like Nova Rossi's coming back out though. I see that Nova is still Nova Rossi.
Yeah.
Serio, is that like aren't those like the performer based engines? It's a Serio based.
Yeah, I think that's the same as what performer would be, but
and Pico is still around.
Pico is still around, but mostly in Europe and Central Europe only. What was the one you said?
Let's see.
RB, I think.
RB, yeah. They're still
RB
around.
Is gone.
No, but Rody is still around.
Oh, Rody? What's that?
Rody Rome isn't. No, that's not RB. I keep getting him like mixed up. That's Rody engines. It's Rody Rome. He's an engine modifier, right?
Different. But right, I think, can I run them? RB engines, right? Isn't that what they're called?
Yeah, RB was like WS. RB was probably before your time.
Yeah, it was like when I started, those were kind of going away.
Yeah.
But Ruffalo won the Euro with an RB car. RB, or like servos, RB radio. He had everything was RB, even the
the car, engine, tires, yeah. I remember that.
Everything, like tires, like, and then he had those like RB shocks.
Really, RB shocks?
Yeah,
but they had a whole car.
Yeah, but like RB had this active shock system.
Really?
Yeah, so it was.
Yeah, but I would just say all of that's. I think, and also like the big shift to everybody just wants OS based engines. Oh, and then at one time it was just OS and Reds, for a long time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just called evolutions, man. Evolution. When you go out and you come back, like a lot of those companies are just going because RC is just too small, racing.
Yeah.
So it just, it's just sometimes, and then a lot's changed in the industry since 2009. So, a lot like the sponsorship kind of thing, I want to say kind of just ramping up around that time. Maybe a few years before that. But still, like in 2019, I don't think it was that easy to just go out and become be a sponsor driver. So lots of things have changed, man. Lots of things have changed, Joe. Lots of things have changed in RC, my friend. All right, next question. Okay, so we will answer. Oh, Mike Driscoll, what's up, good buddy? When he wants to know from you, Max, when would you use the upper arms on the Mayako, and when would you use the links?
Yeah, so this is a pretty easy one. Basically, every time you go to a new track, you should start with links, because if your setup is a bit off, it's a little bit more forgiving. But when you have dialed in your setup, if the track is smooth enough where there's not bumps and the grip is consistent enough where you can use it sort of, and you know the limits of it, that's when you should drive the upper arms. But if the grip is inconsistent, it's a bit bumpy, especially if it's lower speed and bumpy. Yeah, that's
you
when
want
you
the
want
links.
the links, and you get a little bit more forgiveness.
Yeah, so like Nemo, you want upper arms because.
Yeah, maybe, but if it's too slippery, then you could be better off with links. But it depends, because
if
sometimes
it's too slippery.
Neo.
No. Sorry, Nemo. I said.
Oh, Nemo. Yeah, definitely upper arms with Nemo.
Nemo. My mistake.
Yeah,
your fault.
Yeah.
My mistake. I'm still trying to find these tires. I know I didn't imagine this. I know I didn't. All right. Next question is, we don't have too many questions left. Benjamin James, if Cavalier and Mayfield pull off the win, become, I believe, the second person with an 8th off-road and a 10th off-road world title, will that put them in the Misami echelon and in discussion for the greatest driver of all time? I have Cavalier and Mayfield above Misami, to be honest. People can get upset at that. Yeah.
No.
I think Cavalier won his titles. Listen.
I think there are more people actually. Like I saw this comment, but I think like Misami hasn't won 8 scale off road. I think Mark Pavidis has won 8 scale off road and 10 scale off road. Is he the only one?
Yeah, I think so. He's run on road too.
Yeah, he has on road, off road, and then 8 scale off road. So he's pretty like he has been
pretty badass.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to detract from Misami. I think he was great in his time. It was also a time when you had to get better equipment. You know what I mean? So it's a different.
Yeah.
Cav and those guys were kind of at the tail end of that, I want to say, where you had to have, they did in the time where you had to have better equipment and like.
Yeah, I think Cav got most of his world championships in the sort of, I'd say the sort of when 10 scale wasn't that big.
Okay.
Because I think 10 scale was biggest like end of 90s, and then like 2000 it slowed down.
Right. So when it had that lull.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's got 4 reading titles. Like lately had a reading title, like in the time where 10 scale's been big again. And Mayfield, he may not have the championship titles, but we can't. And you have to throw Tebow in there too, man. I'm sorry, like these guys are good. Like,
yeah, Tebow has TQ'd like at least 2 worlds, but I think it could be more. No, I think just 2, but 2 8 scale worlds, and then he's TQ'd tool drive worlds twice. I think he has lots of worlds TQs, but I think 2 wins.
I think he has 3 or 4 world wins.
He has at least 1 in tool drive and at least 1 in 4 drive, but he could have 2 in 4 drive.
I think he has more. I should know this stuff. It's amazing how you forget all this stuff. But yeah, to that extent, it's hard. Like I have Cavalier as one of the best. We're not taking away from Misami, but it's different eras. I think you can't. It's hard to judge these. Like the Cavalier that I'm thinking of isn't the same Cavalier as now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's different. It's just a little bit different, in my opinion. It's hard to say. Like one of the greatest of all time probably isn't even racing yet. But everybody keeps going back to Misami because of the titles. But we have to put that was also a different era, a different time. Technology was different. And technology made a big change, a big difference.
Is anyone even close to the amount of world titles to Misami?
I don't think.
I can check, but I don't think.
I don't think so. He won a shit ton, that's for sure. I'm not taking away from his legacy. I'm just saying, it's a different thing. All right, we're going to go into some Discord questions. One is from Axel Owen. In a long pro main with an abrasive track where the tire degradation could be almost bald by the end of the race, what do you think the time difference would be if you could quickly change tires 3/4 through the race? Has anyone tried this, like gluing the nuts on the wheels and using an electric impact driver? Or are there FR rules about having the same tire start to finish? A situation where you could use a softer compound with better grip versus a harder compound that lasts longer, or has the long wear compound negated this issue completely? I think, you know what I think? I think if you're in a track that eats tires that fast, bald tires are going to work too. Because we saw that at RCGP.
Yeah, that's one. And two is that you don't really like to lose. Let's say a normal fuel stop, you lose 6 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That's like an average fuel stop at any track.
Mm-hmm.
And then you add to that you do a fuel stop, and then on top you change tires. So that's at least another 10 seconds. So 10 seconds is like, if you do a 5-minute run, that's a second a lap, pretty much.
Yeah, and they do it in on-road, though. They do it in on-road.
They do it on-road, but that's because the tire gets more slow than the time it takes to change it. But in off-road, you never get you can't get into a situation where your tire is over a second slower per lap than a good tire. It's very rare that you get that. And even if you got to that, the stop would still have to be really, really fast that you could even get equal. So yeah, I think that's why you won't have it. If there ever was someone who figured out the way to have, let's say, the one that they have in
10 scale,
what you call it? No, in 10 scale they have nuts, but in 8
gas
scale
truck.
They have this clip system. So
I have it on my gas truck back there.
Yeah, so if you had the clip on an 8 scale buggy, then you could probably do it like you fill the car up, you take the tires out, put them back, put new ones back on, and you'd probably get like 5 seconds more on the regular fuel stop. So 5 seconds is enough where, let's imagine it's an hour-long main. You have to only catch 1.5 seconds per 10 minutes. So that's not a lot at all. So if you can get the time
it's just too much time
changing
lost.
The tires, yeah. But it has to be so that you gain more than half a second by changing tires, because you can run a softer compound or whatever. It has to be pretty much that it's super cold and it's a very abrasive surface. And then when they get slicks, it's really slippery. That's basically the only situation where you would like to have a tire change.
Yeah, because at RCGP in South Carolina, those tires were like impacts almost.
Yeah.
When they came off that track, they were bald. And I thought that the tire was the best when they were bald, because that track just had so much traction in the line. Obviously, once you get off the line, it's impossible. But I think these tracks develop such traction in these lines that at some point throughout our hour-long main, I think it's more the body of the tire. You know what I mean? The tire gets too soft and hot and all that type of stuff and gets greasy. If you can control that, as long as it's not too hot. You know what I mean by that? Like when a tire gets too hot and it starts, too flimsy and it starts tripping over its sidewall and all that type of stuff. That's when it becomes a problem. if you have a track like that. But if you can still have the ball tire and that tire is still not getting hot and still kind of just, maintaining its structural, what's the word I'm looking for? Reliability, I guess. Yeah.
I don't know.
It would just be too much trouble. Like the gas trucks had it because they used to change out the rear tires, and it was just a quick little system. Boop, it's fast. But I just think to change all four on an 8 scale without some sort of quick change system, like people's just gonna stay out there on the tires, and you lose. Like unless you make it a rule that everybody has to change tires.
Yeah,
at some point.
I think if you have a quick change system, I think if you have that, then there could be a situation where it's actually faster. At least there could be more of those occurrences where it might be
like you said,
change tires.
If you can change that's pit stops becomes 11 seconds.
Yeah.
But that would be a super, so you'd have to be like, that would take.
Yeah, but imagine like you can just take two hands, pop it, and then put it back on.
Yeah. Some people can do that.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have that luxury.
But I mean, that would make it more exciting. But I would think it would have to be mandatory.
No, I don't think so, because it just needs to be fast enough, and the tire wear just needs to be like high enough, and sort of the conditions matching it. Then it will be, people will do it.
I could do that. I could see that. All right, next question is our last question. It's from Tony Bullet. He wants to know. He puts up some pictures of boots from the recent and T-Pro from the recent BRCA Nats. And he goes, why are sometimes pro drivers signed with one brand and use another at big events like the EC Electric? Well, like this. So I've had this question come up a few times. So I'm assuming like T-Pro is announcing that Boots won, but he was using something else. No big surprise there. So I think the easiest way to explain with this, this is how I explain it. When Ryan Mayfield and J Concepts first started, Jason Werner bought it didn't matter what tire was needed at a race, Mayfield would have it because Werner would buy it, because they're still developing their tires. In fact, there's this infamous, it's gone now, but there's an infamous 5150 video of the Hot Rod Hobbies. It might be back up, where you see Corey Drackenberg kind of saying, "Oh yeah, don't forget to send Proline that check to Mayfield after he won," right? So that's what, I think it was 2014, maybe that happened, something like that. So there are clauses in these situations. Now, to see Mayfield running a different tire nowadays, that'd be like, ooh, like wow, because J Concepts is a very established brand now. We're talking about when they first started.
Yeah.
So T-Pro, Raw Speed. I know when Raw Speed they did the same thing. Like Cav he had a clause like if Raw Speed didn't have a tire that worked, he could use whatever tire that was there, and that Raw Speed would buy them, right? When these tires are developing, when these companies are developing tires like this, these drivers usually have a lot of leeway on what they can use. So if T-Pro knows they don't have a tire that works here, it's more important that he wins. Also, I think in this case, the chassis manufacturer is more important.
Yeah. I think T-Pro is special. Like, you don't really even have to explain T-Pro, because it's pretty much S-Works and T-Pro is the same thing. So like they just have boots running T-Pro, which means that S-Works is paying for his tires, and T-Pro is just a brand, because if T-Pro works, they'll run T-Pro, and if it doesn't, he can run whatever. So yeah. Now,
a more nefarious incident of this would be two incidents, I would say. Would be the when X-Ray made Martin Bayer not run drop AK and run Proline at the 2014 Worlds? Was it that?
Well, I think he made his own decision, but
okay.
With X-Ray. But yeah, he ran Proline in the main. He was an AK driver.
And then fast forward 3 years, entire test was an X-ray driver, and the Neo race incident where he ran J Concepts tires. No, that was like super taboo because like Proline, like 2 weeks before that, like released this announcement, and I remember JQ getting in so much trouble for relieving that. Like the guy who reported the trouble got in more trouble than the guy that actually did it. Yeah. And I think since then that whole thing's kind of died down. Like, but like, I don't think you'll see like Mayfield running a different tire. I mean, you might at this Worlds if they can't find nothing that works. But I'm pretty sure J Concepts has made a tire for this race. So yeah, and it's just kind of how it is. Like, so T-Pro can say they're developing tires, I would say. Yeah, they're developing tires. And they'll probably have a tire very similar to that coming out eventually. They're developing their tire lines, and that's how it goes for now. So they have this clause. I think it's the same with Kness, because he's on T-Pro, right, as well?
Yeah, he's on T-Pro.
Yeah. So it just is what it is.
I think it's just S-Works. Like, imagine Butch had still drove Proline, and at some track Proline didn't work. So then S-Works would look bad because Butch has to drive Proline. But now when it's T-Pro, the car doesn't have to look bad because of the tire, because he can always choose the best tire. Yeah. So it's like
basically these guys got an open tire contract.
Yeah.
But still have some regulations. Now, whereas Ronafalk has a fully open tire, like he doesn't get paid by the tire. He refuses a paycheck to run a better tire. Big difference there. Yeah, so it just is what it is. It is what it is. I don't think you would like see that from any of the, like, you wouldn't. I mean, you may, like, I know like when Hot Race was still trying to find a good indoor tire, like Curl would use. I was told that Curl used J Concepts tires, or Hot Race drivers would have to use, like, when they had a very limited, like for those indoor races, like those race time events. So it's, I would rather have it out in the open than trying to hide it. Like, just say, look, we didn't have the tire, we had to use this. You know what I mean? Or make it spec tire. Then you don't have to worry about that. All right. I think that's it, dude. I think that's all of the questions that we have. Thank you everybody for the questions. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you to Beach RC and Brent for their continued support. We greatly appreciate that. Remember, everybody, there are affiliate links that you can use. Please, if you can use that, it helps us out a lot. Gives us a little slice. Max, I'm going to go over to the interview with Bryan Baldo, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about this video that launched this week and look at a few drivers before the Worlds and then wrap it up. All right. So I'll see you back in a minute. And thank you to Techno RC for bringing us the Techno RC main interview of RC Redovan owner, one of the owners of the Redovan track, Bryan Baldo.
Techno RC. Techno RC. Techno RC is a premium manufacturer specializing in 8th and 10th scale high-performance off-road RC buggies and trucks. Visit www.technorc.com for a complete catalog of their products. Techno RC. Excellence in engineering. Hashtag Techno Takeover.
Joining me this week in the virtual studio is Bryan Baldo. What's up, Bryan? What's your full name? Like, tell me your full Spanish name, please.
Yeah, my full Spanish name is Bryan Baldo. My mother decided to put me that name for one TV program she likes, and she decided to put me the name.
What, Baldo or Bryan?
Bryan Baldo.
But you have a Cecilia as well, right?
Yeah, this is the second surname in Spain because, in Spain, it's only not, normally in the rest of the world, you have your name, your main name, and the second name. And in Spain, we have 2 second names.
Yeah, like my son and my daughter, they have 2 second names. They have my last name and my wife's last name. But if you guys don't know who this gentleman is, he is Bryan Baldo. He is one half of the Baldo brothers. His other brother, Oscar, they own the Redovan track it's Redovan, right? The actual, Redovan, Spain, which will be holding the 2022 IFMAR World Championships for Nitro Buggy. I've dubbed this, and I think everybody is kind of hyped up about this. Probably one of the most important and epic and most competitive worlds we've probably had, because it's a lot of competition on what I think is, for me personally, like one of the, I've never been there. I've never been to the track, but I've just watched videos. I've streamed it. It's been a track I've always wanted to come to, what I consider to be the biggest and like most badass track we have in RC, which is Redovan. So these brothers have been racing for quite a long time. They are going to be the first Spanish, this is going to be the first Spanish off-road 8-scale buggy nationals, correct? I mean, worlds.
Yeah, it's the first worlds in Spain since the is making, and the first in Europe since 2014, I think.
Yes.
The last will be in Italy.
It's strange that Spain has not held a nitro buggy world so far.
It's strange, but never have any people that have the motivation to make one world in Spain, because make one world is super difficult. You need a lot of money, you need a lot of people, a lot of work, and normally the tracks in Spain is not too much bigger, too much not like Redovan, but the problem is don't have a big challenging track in Spain. Track in Spain is good because we have a lot of good track in Spain, like Fuencarral or another ones. But the problem is make one world needs a lot of things, not only the track.
A facility. It needs a good facility and good people behind it.
Yeah, the people behind, the facility to have people behind. If, for example, you have any problem during the week, have the facility to share that problem, the solution as soon as possible. It's not only have the good track, it's all the facilities and all things that including make one world.
Oh, I agree. I know, because I see what RCGP demands, what they want from a track. And I've seen it's not just, like I try to tell people, it's not just about the actual track. The facility has to be up to par, because there's a lot of this is all international drivers. A lot of people are flying in. They don't have tables, they don't have chairs, no compressors, all that stuff. So you guys, from what I've been told, you guys have a very impressive facility. But let's tell the world a little bit about you and your brother. So you guys have been racing for quite a long. Who's older, you or Oscar?
Me older. I have 30 years. Oscar has 25 now.
Okay, so you guys are still young, somewhat young. How did RC start for you? You told me that your dad raced or had a track.
Practically, since I born, I'm in one radio control car track, because when I born, my father is running with cars, and since I have 8 months, I'm in one track.
Really? So your dad used to race. Did he used to race off-road only, or did he race everything?
Off-road, always off-road. We try sometimes asphalt. I like, but I feel more fun in the off-road.
Okay, so what about your dad? What did he used to race?
What?
Your father, Padre. He used to race?
He raced from 1990 to 2009. And when my brother and me are improving in the radio control, he left the radio control and make mechanic from me and my brother.
Was he good?
He's good. He makes finals in nationals normally.
Okay.
And on the local championship of there, he won a regional championship. He won also the plus 40 Spanish nationals. Not bad. He runs
not
good.
Bad at all. So you came first.
We have a joke because we are talking with my brother and I say, "Hey father, why when Worlds is finished, don't try again to run only for plus 40 or an electric or one similar thing?" And he say, "No, because now the things are too different. For sure, I don't be good with the car."
40 plus is competitive. Yeah. So you came along first. So you was racing RC from a young young child. When did Oscar pick up the control?
Oscar, for example, the first time that I take one radio control car is with 5 years, I think. 4 or 5 years. Oscar, for example, is 9.
Oscar he started later.
And he started directly in one race, no practice.
Really? So you think Oscar's more talented of you guys?
I think the best thing that have Oscar is because he's more calm than me. He is more consistent. He's more calm.
Yeah, but you guys, I think the first time you guys kind of came, when I remember seeing you, was maybe from Neo, way back in like 2015, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing you guys there. I think it was maybe running Mugen at the time. Yeah. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And I think you was the faster one, though, at that time.
Yeah, for example, now I'm father since 9 months ago. And, that things, you lose time from the radio control to make another things with the family and with the work and everything. And, for example, Oscar don't have any child and anything. Only have time to work and to radio control cars. Me, for example, it's more difficult to make practice or make some things. I have the hit in other places. It's normal. But for this year, no, because it's ending. But for the next year, I have more time because my boy is a little bit more bigger and I have more time to practice and everything.
Congratulations on your son. Are you going to get him to race? Do you want him to race as well?
If I try to, my son will be in the radio control. Depending my son, because for example, he likes football. I can't change anything. But I try because, for example, I think for the Worlds will be here some days. And I try for sure because I'm in the radio control car since I have 9 months. And for sure we try. And if I don't try, my father, sure that he try.
Of course, grandpa, abuelo's going to try for sure. But that's good. Congratulations. All right. So I just wanted people to get to know that because you guys, you and your brother have raced. I think you guys have made some Euro finals as well. One of you or both of you. You've made, I think 1 year you made some Neo finals as well. I can't remember.
Oscar made one year main final of the Neo, the Neo year in Redovan. He made also one final of the Euros. I made 2. I did any Neo final. But for example, in Montpellier GP or some race like this, we normally make final.
Yeah, I just want, because a lot of people were kind of shocked about your brother at the warm-up. And I was like, no, these guys are good racers. They're fast. You know what I mean? So it's viable. It's good. I've watched you guys. I've never met you guys because we've never been to a race together, but definitely seen your names come up. And then, of course, with the track, it's, I love the track and all that type of stuff. So tell us a little bit about Redovan. How did that come about? How old is it? And when did you guys decide to make this massive facility, RC facility?
The first track that we have is not in Redovan. It's not that place. We are in Orihuela. It's 10 minutes from there. And it's a good place also because it's in the middle of one palm trees, And the track was super good. We ordered to make the worst to Italy. Try to make in Orihuela and finally go to Italy. And we stayed there from 1990 to 2010, I think. 2012.
Okay.
And 2012, with the city council and the government of the town changed, the government say you don't have place to be there. You need to go.
Okay. Wow.
And we searched because Redovan is my town. With the government of there and asked for some places to make one radio control track. And we checked that parcels and everything. And the government of the town say, if you want to make that the track there, no problem. And that's all. We have a agreement for 50 years there. And in 50 years, we are improving every time the track because, for example, when we began with the track, it's not like this. It's super dusty, super basically. It's a basic track. And in the years, we are improving, making the parts in concrete, thinking to make more challenging, thinking, continually thinking. And this is the fourth layout that we made there. Counting the layout of the world because it's make it. And I think every time that we change everything is to improve and to make a little bit more challenging.
Oh, it's definitely challenging. So let's read back. So the government, you lease the land from the government for 50 years. Does the government assist you guys with any funding to build it, or does that come all out of pocket?
All money that we make the track is from my father.
Wow. So it was nothing there when you got it. It was just land.
Yeah. It's the use it is totally private because we spend all money to make the track.
It was just so no electricity, no water, nothing out there when you
the electricity and the water is we have an agreement with the city government to make half of the year here, half of the year RC Redovan. And for example, now for the wars, for sure, he make a help to put the electricity to all containers because we have 12 containers in total. We have internet line. We have everything to have a good cover.
Is the government involved any bit in, not involved, but helping with the promotion of this as well?
He's working, he's helping in all things that he can because it's not a big city. We are 5,000 people there. It's no more. It's a little town.
Yeah, but you guys are close to like Murcia and like all the tourist areas.
Yeah, it's 25 minutes from Murcia, 35 from Alicante. It's a big city. Alicante and, for example, Torrevieja, Guardamar is the beach part of the zone. Is 35 minutes also. And it's a good place because we have the Alicante airport is not a super international airport.
No.
But have connection with Madrid, for example, easily, or Barcelona or London. You have a good also.
Yeah. I'm flying into Alicante. It was pretty easy, just Madrid, right from here to Madrid and then Alicante. So not hard at all. I'm really looking forward to it. So let's talk about the evolution of your track because it is massive. We're talking about like 50 to 55 second laps at some point.
The fastest lap in warm-up, I think, will be 51. More or less. I don't know the lap time now, but I think will be around that time. 51.
Okay. What's the elevation difference like going from the lowest point to the highest point? Because it's kind of on a big slope, right? Big hill.
6-7 meters, more or less.
And then the driver's stand is also enormous as well and high.
The most highest part on the rostrum in the driver's stand is 7 meters, I think. 6.
Wow. You guys went all out.
Yeah, it's the number one. The number one is the most.
So, hey, TQ, like if you get pole position, you could get the highest position on the stand.
The first time that we make a race there, the people, you check the driver's stand, and all people is in the right part because it's more further.
Yeah. I just remember, I think when I first saw this track, the amount of corner speed that this track carries, the elevation, I really loved the concrete rhythm section. I love that.
You are talking the whoops?
Yeah, the whoops, but then that was one section I liked, but then the straightaway.
Yeah,
the recta.
Which is straight, because we make the jump to go to the concrete of the whoops, make the whoop 180.
Right. And come back up and come up past the rostrum. And then it looks like they're going up gradually, and then they get to the top, and then they were in the Euros in the warm up. They were doing this. I was just like, wow. I couldn't believe how much speed these guys were carrying.
That part is changed for the new track.
Hey, so I know everybody wants to know what this track's going to be like. We've had the Americans over there. They're like, oh, we don't, it's European track and it's the same track and they guys practice all this time. We've heard that you guys may change a little bit of it, may do this. Can you give us a little hint of what you've done? And can you, the Americans are worried, it seems like a little bit.
I'm sorry for the American guys, but I think the track is a little bit more European.
Is it going to be high speed, fast?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I mean, it's a big track. What are you going to predict the laps at? What do you think a fast lap's going to be?
I think will be the same lap time, 51.
Okay.
Because we are the track is designated by me and my brother.
Mm-hmm.
We try a lot to have the same lap time because we don't want to go down of 50s.
Okay. Was there anything that you wanted to add to this track that you haven't done before, or when you designed it, what was some of the things that you guys were thinking?
For example, we keep the parts of the track that I like it.
Mm-hmm.
But for example, we made two things in that track that will be super, super, super difficult to make all laps the same because it's super, super difficult to make every time.
Really?
It's not a super difficult thing, but if you to make every lap super good,
mm-hmm.
difficult.
Interesting. I can't wait. And then, of course, as we record this, you haven't finished yet. But you did get the pipe on, right? I haven't seen it. I'm waiting. I'm hoping you guys go all out. I hope it looks painted. It's beautiful. Surface-wise, what can we expect?
The surface will be the same than the warm-up. I think we have a little bit more grip in the beginning because we put a little bit more, because we put some, it's similar than the glue,
mm-hmm.
that the carpenter glue, but it's not the same. It's a polymer. It's a strange thing that is used in Africa to make
the roads.
The roads and the
mm-hmm.
plane landings. And we use the same like this. For the warm-up, we put that. But for the wars, we put more quantity of that liquid.
Okay.
At the beginning, I think, because we are checking every day the evolution of the sun and everything, I think at the beginning, we have a little bit more that grip at the beginning of the warm-up. But I think during all the week, the grip go a little bit down. I think the grip will be similar than the warm-up because that liquid that every time that we put in the track normally always make the same reaction.
Okay, good stuff. I'm excited. You mentioned this earlier about you needing the proper facility. Organizing this Worlds, what has probably been one of the most difficult things for you to do?
They organize everything because, for example, we need to talk with IFMAR, we need to talk with the brands like Kyosho, Swords, everything. And for my side, the most difficult part will be the fuel for this year. Because a little problem with the government in Spain that he told, not only in Spain, in all Europe, I think, because now it's super controlled the nitro.
Yes, because you can't of the laws. I know that.
I know that the 16% is okay. It's not necessary make anything, and every driver can drive with 16, and it's not necessary make any of that the thing that we need to make now. But I think make one world in my track with the heat, with the grip at 16. I think the people don't feel good because the engines.
Are they not allowed to run 25 there?
We run with 25, but I need to make one word to know the fuel of each driver.
So you have to. So hold on. So you have to know what each driver consumes over this week. And then you have to report that.
I need to control all fuel of each driver during all week. And to make that license, I need to ask 1 month and a half before of the race to every driver which fuel and which brand he used. It's bad because run with 16% of nitro there. In my track with the hot that we have now, and grip that have the track and the challenging that is the track, I think the engines, I think we have a lot of problem if we run with 16% of nitro.
So what are the rules? What do the drivers, you have to control the 25%. You have to get a list of all the drivers, what fuel they're running, how much they're going to bring. What are the rules for the fuel while you're at the event? Because you have to turn it in and it has to be like locked away at the end of the day, correct?
Yeah. At the beginning of the event, each driver needs to come to me and finally buy the fuel there. We have 6 brands.
Okay.
To make one idea that how many cans I need to ask every driver which brand he used. Normally from the USA drivers, normally the most part of the USA drivers run with BP fuel, but in Spain don't have any distributor of that brand. And the Americans can run with that brand for that reason, because the government say that if the distributor don't make any things and any papers and any documentation that need to make, he can make the license to me can run with that fuel. I know that the people is a little bit angry. I understand, because it's normal. You are running with one fuel and you know how works that fuel and everything. You don't have the security to go to one world and try another fuel that you don't know. But in this case, I know that all Americans choose Runner Time and Nitrolux. It's a very good brand. In Spain, don't have any problem, never. And I think, for example, Ty Tessman come to the world, use the same fuel than me, and everything is good. He don't have blame.
So how are you going to monitor the fuel throughout the day, or throughout the event? So each person.
Yeah, we have 1 can per driver. Okay, in the beginning of the event, he come to buy to me the fuel, and he can pick the fuel the first day to her table. Okay, when he can use the fuel, he can make everything with the fuel, run. Okay, when the day ends, he need to return to me the fuel. And I say the fuel in one securities part is in the technical inspection. Nobody have the entrance there, only the people of the technical inspection. And we save the fuel there. But only 1 can per driver. And I need that each driver use her can. Why? Because we have the police there every day controlling the fuel. Yeah.
It's so crazy because this law is so, I understand. It's like nothing to do with RC cars, like nothing to do with RC at all.
The last, I don't know is the name in English, that the last time that put bombs in Barcelona, or I think put bombs in Barcelona, I don't know if you remember that in one home find some things to make a bomb. One of the things that he find is nitro. Nitro buy in one hobby shop.
Wow. So because of that, everybody has to, I understand why they're doing it, but I think it's just a little bit too extreme, but I get it.
But if the method of work to run to 25, I don't have problem to make that work. It's a super work because I 2 months working with the field, but I think the people feel more comfortable and will be more happy if run with 25 than running with 16 and have a lot of problem with the flameouts and problem with the engine.
But you have to hire like people just to look after that and deal with that.
Yeah,
that's a lot. So they can only use 1 can for the entire event, or if they have to get more. What if they need more?
We have one can for each driver, but I have more in the store.
Okay.
Because, for example, to make an idea, if, for example, Nitro Loops have, or Runners Time have 60 can, we order 80.
Got you. Okay. All right. That is a pain in the ass. Un dolor en la culo. Eso. Uno there. Wow, I never even thought about all of that. That's all the logistics and stuff that we don't even think about, that goes into doing an event like this. All right. So we talked about the hardest thing, difficult thing. What is your favorite thing so far? And what do you think is going to impress people the most?
For me, the best part of the world is if the first day all people are happy and is enjoying and everything is working well. For me, I don't need more.
Wow. How much staff are you going to have working for this?
Who?
How much people are going to be working?
For the race, I have a lot of people.
I know. You need to.
But the last 6 months, we are working 5 person there.
Yeah. Wow. So much consideration. That's a lot of people. You guys are, wow. A lot of people.
Organizing One World, because I asked to Carlos, to IFMAR.
Mm-hmm.
How many people organize One World? Normally, the 20 person, 15.
Wow. Wow.
We are 5. We are working.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys are passionate about it. Obviously, looking at your track, and with the work and the facility, not just the track, the facility that you've put into it. You guys have the passion, and I know, like, holding a Worlds and being the first Nitro Buggy Worlds in Spain is something that you guys will take much pride in as well. I am super excited to actually see the track and what you guys do. I can't wait to get there either myself. So, do you want to send a message to anybody before we guys sign out here and let people know, like, who are coming to the Worlds? What are people that are going to be watching? Because I think a lot of people around the world are going to be following this. Thousands and thousands of people. You got a message for them?
I receive 20, 30 messages every day asking if I can go enter to the paddock, I can go enter to the problem is we have a lot of people now in the paddock. We are organizing some stands to watch the race. And for my side, I want that all people go to the paddock to know how is One World inside, but it's not possible. We make one full, I don't know the name in English, to make one to give 10 passes. We make, I don't know the name in English, of sorteo.
Like a raffle, free flow? No.
Yeah.
Sorteo.
Yeah, we make one. All people is making her things in Facebook, and later, I think this week, at the end of this week, we make the chance and we give to the 10 person 5 passes, 5 double passes.
Okay.
With you and one friend, or when you want.
Okay, that's awesome. That's cool. That's cool. Is a lot of the allowing people in the paddock is a lot to do with the fuel rules as well?
Because I think if we leave enter a lot of people there, the drivers are not comfortable and the mechanics. And all the thing. The problem is we have a lot of pace, but if you go and leave enter people, later we don't have too much space.
Right. I get that.
One race of 8 days, and I think is the best is the drivers, the mechanics, the organizer feel comfortable and adapt some parts of the track to have public to see the race.
Yeah, that'd be great. Put some stands up, some bleachers. It'd be good. I'm excited. You say it's going to be a European style track, so it's going to be awesome. I think that, you know what I think? I think the Americans should be worried. They're still good racers. They're fast. Look at Ty. He's Canadian. He came over. He was fast in the warm up.
The track is not difficult. It's difficult not to go fast, because Ty told me that your track is not difficult. The difficult track is not to go fast.
Yeah, because it's so much corner speed too. So
now it's different, but it's the same. It have the same essence, but it's hard because some parts of the track will be the same. Only move some tubes and move some roads, but the essence of the track is the same because the big double in front of the podium stay there. The chicane of the left part in the more deepest zone will be there. And the concrete part, the steps, everything, that all things is there. But we change some corners to make a new track, but with the same things that the old track.
Awesome. Well, I thank you guys for building such a track. If I was a pro driver, I'd be excited about getting to this race because I like the track. I look forward to I'll be out there, not this weekend, but the following weekend. So I look forward to seeing what you guys have all done. Thank you for what you guys have done. I know putting on a Worlds is not cheap. It's not easy. And I know that it's hard. Like, you know what I mean? And especially like you shine some light on the issues with the fuel and what you have to go through just to accomplish that. So that adds extra, just makes it extra difficult. I think the world's going to be blown away with what you guys do. I think we're going to have probably one of the best, if not the best worlds, because the competition level is extremely high in Europe, as well as the Americans I have to say the Americans, Europe, because that's the two main groups. We might have Kyle McBride. Kyle McBride is the one Australian guy. He could make it there, but it's going to be absolute. I love it. Anytime we get to see the best in the world race, and we don't get to see them race in Europe much. You know, like the Europeans go to DNC, Europeans go to Silver State, they go to America a lot.
I think the Americans will be faster there, for sure. I know that for sure. Ryan Mayfield, Cavalieri, Spencer will be there and go fast. I know that Americans will be fast because it's not the problem is, for example, 10 years ago, the American tracks will be super jam, with super jams, with super, you have only 180 corners and jam. And in Europe, we have super flat tracks with high speed corners. Now, no, because now in Europe, we have a lot of track with jams, with more USA style. If you check the USA tracks now, it's not the same tracks than 10 years ago. It's more with less jumps. The track have more bumps. The track is a little bit more speed, corner speed. We are changing things because I think that the USA drivers know that he need also trying tracks different than the track that he have. Because, for example, the international drivers know that when go to Thailand or go to Europe or go to another place, most probably that the track is not the same than USA.
Exactly. Before we finish her, is there any tracks or past tracks that have inspired the Redovan build?
No. The first layout that we make in Redovan is made it by me, my father, and my brother, thinking there with one paper and make the draw. No, because this track, the good thing that we like it is that we have 4 parcels in different levels. And we think what we can make with that thing. And we make the challenge with that things.
Yeah, and physically it's huge. It's big. Like I've seen 50-second tracks as well, but they're very busy. You know, lots of things and lots of corners. This is a huge. Like I've only seen it on TV, on computer, so I can't wait to actually see it in person. Every single person that I've talked to that's been there, it's like, man, the track is big. I've had people say, you lose signal sometimes when you go too far out. That's how big it is. So I think that's what makes it exciting and makes it hard. And this is the world. It should be difficult because it should challenge. It should be. It should be hard for these guys. It should be a challenge for these guys, I think. And I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. I know you're anxious, you're nervous about everything. I would be. But I have a feeling you guys are going to put on a good Worlds, and I can't wait.
I feel more nervous to organize the race than the race.
And you're racing, right?
Yeah, but for example, the first day I'm thinking more in organizing than in race.
It's going to be busy. Oscar will race, though.
It's a lot of work during a lot of months. And we are thinking every time that, please, that everything works well, please.
It's hard.
Problem of last time, any rarely thing, please.
Yes. It's difficult, man. It's difficult. But we appreciate it. We're happy. I know the RC racing world is happy to have another World Championships. We've been without for 4 years.
4 years.
And it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
I think so. A lot. The top drivers, I talk with Robert of Davide or Canas, and every say me the same. Wow, I need to the Worlds now. Please.
Yeah, I know. And then I can't wait. Thank you for all the work that you guys have done. And putting on this, and that is going to be this awesome event. And I can't wait to meet you guys as well and see what you guys have done in person. And hopefully this, we get to shed some light on more on European. This will help shed some more light on European racing, especially in Spain, because a lot of fast young racers coming up in Spain, Italy, and France, and these countries. And I'll get to see all of them. I'm excited about that. Oh man, thank you. I'm excited. Like, this is my dream world. At Redovan, with like the competition level that we have, I'm excited.
We are working on that thing that make not the best words, because this is depending the person, but make the words that every people make in her mind during too much time.
I agree, and I have no doubt that you guys will do that, and I can't wait to see it in person. Bryan, muchas gracias por tu tiempo. Thank you for your time and your hard work. I will see you next week. Thank you. And I look forward to the IFMAR World Championships that you guys are holding. Thank you. Muchas gracias. Okay. Hey, Max, let's have some word from our sponsors before we go on to our last it's like a little rant, I want to say. Is it a rant? Yeah, it's like a rant.
No, I don't. It's like for you, I think it's a rant because you always get excited. But for me, it's just all right.
Max says, for me, it's because I always get excited. But thank you to TZO Tires and Invisible Speed for all their support. We greatly appreciate them. If you're listening to this on audio, these are the RCGP and Invisible Speed commercials. Yeah, thank you to Invisible Speed for the continued support. I was sitting in an Invisible Speed Discord the other day. It was really good. There was a lot of discussion going on in there. People were enjoying themselves. Thank you to them. Also, thank you to TZO Tires. These guys need to get ads with words in it, I think, Max. So people that are listening to this on the audio can hear it as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, this is the TZO commercial. All right, that cuts off so quiet. Nick's got to get that fixed. But thank you to TZO Tires for their continued support. If you guys are interested in getting the TZO tires, check them out on TZO on Facebook. The website is up. I should have the website address in the written description of this podcast. But thank you to those guys for their continued support. There's some bike pulling up out there, some beeping noise. But yeah, good stuff. All right, Max. So, yeah, interesting video dropped by Adam Drake this past a couple of days ago. In fact, he was the first one to tell me about it. It's like, hey, you was more excited about it than me at first.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw it on Facebook, and I was like, holy shit! Like, how is this possible? We've been talking about this for like years now, and then like now finally someone talks about it, and then I watched the video, and I was like Drake said that no one wants to be the bad guy, and then he like acts like he's the martyr. It was a bit funny, but yeah, it was like, jokes aside, it was a very good. It was very good that someone else spoke about it.
Well, see, I like to say this. So we take the heat and beat down the path so others can say things. So we've been saying this for 4 years now.
Yeah.
I was talking to Rhonda at Silver State. We was in line, I think, and to get Starbucks to get some coffee. So we was talking. She's like, we need to do something about this rough driving and I was like, yeah, I agree. We need referees. And I just told her, I said, you guys need to start speaking up about this stuff. Like, I don't know if that was I'm just saying, I just told her, like, you guys have the voice. I have this little voice. We have this little voice. They have a lot of big voice. You know what I mean? Very influential in the industry. Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad they did this. So it was funny because you see a lot of, so let's just explain a few things. So then it's like, well, that's the RD's job and all this type of stuff. Yes, at American races, it's definitely the RD's job. But I believe it's just too big of a job for one man because he's got to watch a race. He's got to call a race. He's got to pay attention to all this stuff. And he's got to referee a race. He's not going to catch everything. So I know RCG brings in Justin. I know we had Mal the year before. I know, or European races, just one guy on the stand that's a referee, right?
Depends. Most races have one referee, but the referee is never the announcer.
Right, because you can't do those two. And you have an official timekeeper at European races and all this stuff. I'm not going all deep at that.
So most European, like at least national level races have referee, announcer, and timekeeper.
Right.
They have 3 people.
So let me tell you what RCB takes to a race. They take Justin, who's like a referee RD. He does call the race a little bit, but he also organizes the, everything, because there's a lot of coordination going on between them and the stream. You have Stefan, he's the timekeeper. You have Mal, he's doing his things. And then you're working with the streaming guys because they're all a part of the timekeeping thing too. So I know we never had referees at a race in America. And then people's like, oh, it's going to raise I saw one guy say it's going to raise race fees. We don't need it. I think this elementally comes down to couple of things. One, the lack of a proper federation or clubs in America, because you don't, when you have a proper federation or associations that are running things, you learn these rules. There's rules put up. Nobody is, nobody gives a rat's ass about Raw in America until the nationals come up. So that's a big fault right there. Club racing too is a place where you learn your etiquette as well. So there's been a big failure on the club side of things if you ain't breeding a healthy etiquette for racing. And then these big races too, like these big races, they need to start calling these incidents out. Like they need to start handing out, like all to do, start handing out penalties early, and it stops. I'm a firm believer in setting the precedents early. This is the level I'm going to accept, and this is the level that I'm going to. Now to say that, I will give an incident that I think, and I'll give you what Justin kind of told me about it. So remember in RCGP, one of our hit Canas on the straightaway, right?
Yeah.
Remember that? Mm-hmm. Or at her, and that's what Ronald even said, I'm surprised I didn't get a penalty. And Canas got a penalty for hitting Pecco, right? And Pecco lost the lead. So why didn't they both get penalties? Because I think it has to be up to the RD discretion. We still want good racing. So we want these guys, so the Ronafalk incident, yes, I think he crashed into the back of Canas, but Canas kind of stayed in the same position. Yes, he had an accident, but he stayed in the same position, and Ronafalk had to get Tara Marshall. So he got the bad end of the stick. So he got that should be his warning. Like, okay, that's your warning. You got it. You got the shit end of the stick. Canas keeps on going. Because then you're going to have nervous racing where nobody wants to touch. Yes, this is off-road. We're not in the vehicles. We're going to touch. It's going to happen. You know what I mean? It's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So there has to be some level of common sense applied to this. You know, so if, for instance, why was Canas's accident worse than what Ronafalk did to him? Well, Canas lost no positions, lost no time. Ronafalk came out on the end of the stick. When he hit Pecco lost everything. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's a difference. So there is. It's not like it's not a definitive line. There's a line where it's like it's like this. You know what I mean? It's a line like that. So I think we need to have referees. I'm not saying that every race has to have a referee. You know what I mean? That we go to. But I definitely think
club races really don't. But races like JBRL and serious races or state races or whatever, all of those should have.
Yeah, and then especially these races like the DNC, Silver State, PME, and these races, the RD just can't do all of that. So definitely get some referees in.
Any race where there's professionals, and basically any race Live RC goes to with their team to film, there should be like at least one referee.
Well, I mean, even if they're not just filming, that's for the having the fairness at these races. So
no, but I just mean like at that level, like the referee shouldn't be even a question.
Yes, but there are none. There are none.
Yeah, and that's the silly part, I think.
You know, like I like Lance McDonald. I like the way he RDs, and I like the way he announces, but he can't see everything. Same as Jimmy Babcock. Sorry, he can't see everything either. So what has to happen is that these race promoters kind of have to spend out money and probably get 2 referees. I mean, I think they're making enough money like to do it, and then it will stop. But now that Drakes have said it, I'm so happy that they said it, because now it will be taken seriously, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, I think people know it. It is an issue, but they just don't want to say it.
Yeah, I think people just think that it's just
like even people who defend like the status quo. Mm-hmm. Like even those people know that it is an issue.
It's funny. That's pretty ironic. But now something will happen.
Yeah.
But then then these it's going to be interesting. I think something's going to happen. I think it definitely etiquette needs to start on a club level, and then needs to carry on to the races. But if you know, like, hey, if I hit this guy and don't stop. Like Drake's like, it's not good enough to just stop and let them have the position pass. I get that too, but I'm not saying everything has to be a penalty. Like, like if you took out a guy who was in front and he fell back 10 positions, you should get a stop and go, because you should be the one that's feeling that, not him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you hit him and like you guys keep racing and there's no like 1 or 2 positions left, I think there's some time for that, or 1 position's left, or you gain the position and he doesn't, you have to give it back to him. There's a lot of things, but this has to be all organized, and there's just promoters. There's no federation. There's no association. There's no rules. There's no fucking rules. Like what? Like there is no rules. There really aren't. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, Max, we're gonna go into our last little section. We're gonna do this real quick because we did it last week. We started with some teams to talk about that. So this next little section and our conclusion is brought to you by Lugs Racing, who has over 55 years of combined RC experience. Lugs has been testing treads, wheels, and rubber for performance. They have their Econ line of tires developed with racing budgets in mind. High quality but lower cost means savings that can be passed on to you, the racer. They also have their premium line of tires to provide pure performance made using their custom molds and proprietary rubber compounds. Tires are available in medium soft, super soft, mega soft, and now long wear, as well as truggy tires. You can visit them at www.lugsracing.com. You can save 25% with the use of promo code in all caps, NNRC Lugs. All right, Max. So continuing on with our last week when we was talking about teams going into the Worlds, I thought we'll look at some more teams this week, maybe one or two. So I'll start off. Let's just get this right off the bat. TLR. And also, you know what, Max? I've kind of changed my opinion on something as well. I've kind of changed my opinion on something from last week on drivers. But we got TLR. Let's start off with TLR. We got Fend and Kev. That's it. There's nobody else. I don't know anybody else that can even make the main from TLR.
Oh, okay.
I think Cavallari is going to be in the main.
Yeah. Yeah, I think both of them will be in the main. I think.
Can Fend win it? Can Cav win it?
Cav can't win it. Well, he can, but it's not likely. Fend can, but it's not very likely. But it's more.
What will be Fend's downfall, in your opinion?
Mistakes, I think. Just the track is so big. The speed he would have to do to beat someone like Ongaro or Ronafalk, who I think are the two strongest ones going in. Perhaps you can put Canas in there too. Yeah, the speed he would have to go, and like the amount of mistakes like the Europeans make generally, I don't think they like. I can't see that happening.
But do you have Fend as one of the Americans that can win?
Oh, yeah. I'd say Mayfield is the most likely American to win. Fend is the second most likely. And then I'd say, Tessman is probably... Actually, I'd say Tessman is more likely than Mayfield. So I'd go Tessman, Mayfield.
Okay, we'll do X-ray after this.
Yeah, but I didn't think of Tessman. Yeah, I'd say Tessman.
I think Fend can win it. I think the downfall will be 60 minutes.
Yeah. So on top of the fact that mistakes, this track is big, it's far away, there's lots of wind, big jumps, like so many things that can, even if you are doing a good job, then can still go wrong, and you make a mistake. And the way he drives is much more prone to mistakes. So yeah, I think that will be the biggest downfall.
Now, Cavallari, I have him in the main. If Cavallari can win a world, it will be through his experience and just his grit to do it. His experience, his knowledge, his racecraft, and all that stuff will win it for him. Obviously, he still has the ability, maybe not as fast as he used to be, but still there. I think experience. If he can win it. Like, he's done 60-minute mains. He's done this. He's been in this pressure. Cavallari has been in this pressure situation more than anybody I know, I would say. You know what I mean? So I think I wouldn't be upset if he won it, to be honest. But I don't think Cav is a front runner for winning it. But I wouldn't be surprised if he did. I'd be like, that's what Cav does.
Yeah, I think for Cavallari to win it, it has to be sort of like a
couple of guys break,
like kind of like the 2014 where he finished second, like that sort of moment where everything just perfectly comes together and then he wins it. That's the only way I can see him win. But Yeah, most likely he's gonna finish somewhere like 7.
X-ray. Did we do X-ray last week? I can't remember. But let's do
I
it
think
anyway.
we did, but we can do it again.
Man, I still can't get Coelho out of my brain, man.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think he's gonna win?
I think he could do top 3.
Yeah. I'd say it's less likely here than it is at the Euros.
Okay.
Where I was.
Well, depends on the surface too. I heard that the ceiling is surface, not like Euros. But
okay, but if it's properly sealed, then yes.
No, it's not gonna be like Euros. It's gonna be like a dust inhibitor that they're using.
Yeah. Well,
for roads and stuff.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
So Tessman is still the best bet.
I say, out of the Americans, out of the X-ray people, Tessman is the most likely.
Only Tessman.
Yeah.
North American.
Yeah, North American. Right. And well, I mean, all Americans, really.
Oh yeah. Well, he's Canadian. He would consider himself Canadian. All right.
Yeah. No, but I mean South and North American.
So you don't have, and I remember you don't have Oscar winning this either. I think Oscar will be in the main. That's for sure.
Who?
Oscar Baldo.
Oh, Baldo. Yeah, Baldo will be strong. I think Coelho is the second strongest. Baldo is the third strongest.
Okay.
But there could be a situation for Baldo where if he got like a good start, he can just click those laps out in front.
Like he did at the warm-up.
Happened. Like warm-up, it happened in 2016 as well in a warm-up. Mm-hmm. So if he gets out front and he can click his laps, then yeah, I think it can happen. And that, yeah, but either but then yeah, he has to start like top 5 to have that. So yeah, no way that's gonna really happen. So Coelho will probably be the second.
S-Works will have a pretty big team. They'll have from America, Spencer Heckert, Camden Lime, and Bornhorst. Bornhorst being the top one out of that one, I think. Most definitely. And then on the
Denny too, right?
Is Denny going?
Yeah, I saw him on the list.
Okay, all right. I didn't see. All right, Denny, I forgot about him. Sorry. And then obviously they have Juan Carlos Canas, who is picked also one of the favorites to win. And Elliot Boots. I don't have Boots as a favorite to win. I have him in the main.
What about Pariente?
Oh, yes. We forgot about the young Spaniard from Pariente.
Or Valente too, for that matter.
Valente didn't go through. Is he good?
I mean, Valente is better than Heckert and Lime.
On this track, yes.
Yeah.
In America, no.
I'd say on any track.
Really? Heckert's not bad. Heckert's not bad at all.
Well, Heckert, Heckert's
all right. Heckert's good. Joe Bornhorst, where do you see him?
I don't know. Maybe semi.
It's hard.
Yeah, I'd say like almost making it to the main. I say.
Really?
Yeah.
He's
think like there. He's gonna finish 7th in the B semi, and lose out on time and finish 13th after semis, and then not go through the LCQ.
So who do we have from S-Works in the main? JCC Parente?
Yeah, JCC. Maybe
Boots.
Pariente if he has a perfect day.
Mm-hmm.
Boots if he has a good day. And yeah, I take Canas and Boots is I think Boots is gonna be there.
Canas
he was really good. He's yes, he can. Maybe. And I'd say he's the second most likely to win. And Boots was good here in the warm-up, and he was good here in previous years we've been at this track. So I think Boots will be in the main.
Yes, I think so too.
Two cars in the main, and Canas.
What will be Canas' downfall?
Mistakes. Mistakes and engine really.
Mm-hmm. I think fuel mileage and mistakes.
60 minutes. He's gonna most likely make at least one stop more than Ongaro, and most likely 2 stops more than David.
Okay.
So, like, unless they do something. So that's gonna definitely hurt him. And then just like the way he pushes, he's gonna make those few mistakes like he did at the Euros. Whereas someone like Ongaro or David, they don't have to. Well, they don't drive in a way where they sort of have those.
So you're saying Canas is more on the edge?
Yeah, like Canas is so on the edge that he will always make a mistake at that long of a time. Whereas David and Ongaro, they drive in a way where like it's not as likely that they make a mistake.
I know what you mean.
So it's possible where they sort of make the 60 minutes without any mistakes even. Whereas Canas, I don't see that ever happening.
I would actually agree with that assumption. No chance for Joe Bornhorst making him in your book?
I mean, yeah, there is a chance, but that's why I said 7th in the B semi and he loses out on time because, like, yeah, he could be 5th in the A semi. Like, what do I know? But yeah, my guess was that he's not going to make it, but very barely not going to make it.
I do think that the S-Works team will have a good base going into this race. I think that the U.S. cars are a little bit different. Like, so talking to Tim Lime, like they've been working on like a U.S. version of the S-Works car. I think I could be wrong, but you know he has been like the experiment with different things. I think with having Boots as well as Canas and Parente as well, who have been on this track enough. It would help. It gives S-Works a little helping hand, I think, for the American guys. Like, I think that's going to help Bornhorst a little bit. And the thing will be always is like, yeah, it's born. Like, I know we guys keep coming back to this, but it's going to be tires too. J Concepts versus the European tires and the Pro Lines.
Yeah.
And the AKAs.
Yeah.
So
that's going to hurt Bornhorst.
That's the real war right there. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see. Yeah, I think next week we'll do the last few teams like Mayako Associated. Who else have we not mentioned? I mean, really, when you think about it, we got TLR.
Did we do Mugen?
Yes.
Okay.
Killix, Mayfield, and Robert.
Imagine now we've been saying like J Concept's gonna be worse than Hot Race and Hot Race gonna dominate. Like, and now J Concepts comes out with their new tire, new compound,
and it's badass in it. That's like, what I would do if I was J Concepts.
Yeah, it's like so good. Mayfield, it's like Mayfield, Rivkin, and then like Johanna Hart, and then some J Concept driver, like random, not that big in 8 scale. Like, wouldn't that be just crazy?
I think Rona is super smart. I think he said, "Okay, I know what I need for this," and he's probably going and done it. Yeah. So we'll see how it works out. But
I don't think that's likely, but it would be. It would be so funny if he did it. Like, I'd be happy because like we've been talking shit for so long about it now.
Well, because we're excited. We're excited about this, and it does come down to tires, you know, and the issue would be it's very hard to replicate this track. You know what I mean? Very hard.
Yeah.
It's big. It's you know, I see a lot of people that are practicing and wheel time's all good, but this track is a monster. Like, you know, this is probably the biggest track we have in RC.
Yeah, and the thing is this track is not only about, you know, being the fastest tire and like being the most durable. It's also about how the tire feels and how like it's because it's so high speed at times and the car is so far away that you need to have sort of the most trust and sort of predictability in the car. So because that's also a big thing about the tire.
Didn't you was it you that told me at some point, like some points, if you go too far, you like just your car, like the vision to your car and everything just reacts so different?
Yeah. I mean, you can feel like there is a bit of a delay when you go to the furthest point in the track, definitely.
And Oscar said, I'm sorry, Brian said it's going to be a very Euro style track. So
yeah,
it's going to be good. It's going to be good. They're going to reveal it next week, I believe. So that should be good. It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be, I think Jeff Keaton's got the right idea. He's like, I think the Americans need to be confident going into this race. You know, I've talked to a few and they're like, everything, every time it comes to, it's a European track. It should not matter when you are a professional like that. And when you're the cream of the crop, because the cream will always rise to the top. Ryan Mayfield, Cavallari, Tebow, you guys, Testman, those guys are going to be fast. I'm not saying all those guys are going to make them, like, not all these guys are talking about. There might be some guys out there that are just exceptionally fast and we don't even know about. They're not going to be in the game. You know? Paulito might show up and say, hey, fuck, look who showed up. Like, I'm the Kyosha number one driver, and just kicks that. I don't seen him on the thing, but you know what I mean? We can see João Figueiredo like get it together and be flying, or Lutz. You know, it's so many different things that can happen. That's why it's so exciting. This is why I love when all of the best get together and race together. This is why I love the Worlds. I love the Worlds. I love the Worlds. And we're going to be there, and we're going to have fun. I can't wait. And we'll have good coverage, even though we're going to be there. All right, Max. I think that's it for today. Thank you for your time. Thank you to Bryan Baldo for his time. Thank you to everybody that sent in questions for us. We greatly appreciate that. Thank you to the NNRC squad for all their support. We can't do without you. Thank you, Max, for your time as well. Thank you to all the patrons of the podcast. We can't do without you guys. If you wish to be a patron, you can. The link is in the written description of this podcast. You guys help us out a lot. Also, remember, everybody, showing the sponsor some love shows the podcast some love. We have coupon codes, affiliate links, everything that you need in the written description of this podcast. Please, if you can, show them some love. Helps us out. They are Invisible Speed, TZO 200 tires, TNR Fuels, High Tech RC, Beach RC, Mayako, Techno RC, RCGP, Papa Willie's Traction Tonic, G-Spec RC Tuning, Sun Pedal USA, Racecraft USA, Clinic RC, House of RC, RC3 Raceway. Shout out to the Viking, the Doctor, and Teebs. Check out Teebs' video. Check out Lucas's video. Go give them a like. Max, I'll see you next week. We're going to be busy recording, and then I'll see you next Saturday, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be good to see you. You've grown up so much since the last time I saw you.
Yeah.
All right, Maxie. Well, you have a good weekend of practice.
Yeah.
Everybody have a great weekend of racing and practice wherever you're going this weekend. Be safe. Remember that Nitro is the glory. E-Buggy pays the bills. RC is for everyone. Be a great RC ambassador. And we thank you for all the support that you guys have given to us. I know I keep saying this, but I'm going to the Worlds, and I'm super pumped about that because this is my first Worlds. And I would not have been able to go to the Worlds if it wasn't for you guys out there that tune into this podcast and help us out, to the patrons that give us some extra money, to all the sponsors that help us out, and the companies that help me go to this race, and the people that support me, which is guys like Max and everybody else who help us out here. So with that said, and actually, you know, it's kind of coming up to our 4th year anniversary. Thank you guys, because we can't do without you guys. And
hey, you know what? Wasn't the first podcast like about the world in 2018?
Yes.
And like since then there hasn't been a World. So this is like the circle finally closed.
I know. It's freaking amazing, isn't it? 204 episodes
I
later.
didn't even realize. I thought, because the podcast been going on for so long, I didn't even think like we didn't have a World apart from the first one.
Our first podcast, I believe, was a recap of the World with JQ and Greg Dunny.
It was when it was before the Worlds of Joseph, because Joseph was supposed to go to the Worlds. And he was talking about packing up and stuff like that. Then, like, the second or third one was the recap. But it was about the Worlds.
I know.
That's when it started.
So, if you would have told me back in 2018 that I'll be going to the Worlds, I mean, I thought I would be going to the Worlds. And then, well, not just thought, but in this capacity. You know what I mean? And I'm just pumped, man. And it couldn't be without you guys, man. All the listeners, all we ask people, supporters, is that on the YouTube, go to our YouTube, hit that sub button, hit the notification button, hit that like button or dislike button, leave a comment. On the apps, on the podcast apps that you're listening to this via audio, leave a comment, leave a review, It helps us out. Share, please. The YouTube channel is at 2,408 subs. Before my Facebook got hacked, I had 5,000 friends and a waiting list. The NNRC podcast should have 5,000 subs. At least we have 5,700 followers on Facebook. We should have that many people on YouTube. So please, that's all we ask from you guys. Go to our YouTube channel, hit that sub button. We need that YouTube channel to grow. But thank you for all the support. It's been a cool 4 years, and we are going to bring you. Well, I am bringing you on my. I want you guys to live vicariously. I want you to enjoy the worlds through me. Obviously, Max will be there. He'll be racing, but he'll be involved, and JQ and everybody. But live vicariously through the No Name RC podcast as we travel to what is going to be the most epic worlds ever held, in my opinion. It has been dubbed the epicness.
You have dubbed it that, right?
It has been dubbed. It has been dubbed the epicness. Okay. It's not even like, it's just the epicness. Anyway, enough rambling on. Thank you, Max, for your time. Thank you guys for listening. Nitrous Glory, E-Buggy pays the bills. If you ain't grinding, you're sliding. Lefty and Max, we're out. We're out. We're out. See you guys later.